The narrative of a rising Africa is being challenged. About 10 years ago, I spoke about an Africa of hope and opportunity, an Africa of entrepreneurs, an Africa very different from the Africa that you normally hear about of death, poverty, and disease. And that, what I spoke about, became part of what is known now as the narrative of the rising Africa. I want to tell you two stories about this rising Africa. The first has to do with Rwanda, a country that has gone through many trials and tribulations. And Rwanda has decided to become the technology hub, or a technology hub on the continent. It's a country with mountainous and hilly terrain, a little bit like here, so it's very difficult to deliver services to people. So what has Rwanda said? In order to save lives, it's going to try using drones to deliver life-saving drugs, vaccines, and blood to people in hard-to-reach places, in partnership with a company called Zipline, with UPS, and also with the Gavi, the Global Vaccine Alliance. In doing this, it will save lives. This is part of the type of innovation we want to see the rise in Africa. The second story has to do with something that I'm sure most of you have seen or will remember. Very often, countries in Africa suffer drought and floods, and it's getting more frequent because of climate change effects. When this happens, they normally wait for international appeals to raise money. You see pictures of children with flies on their faces, carcasses of dead animals, and so on. Now, these countries, 32 countries, came together under the auspices of the African Union and decided to form an organization called the African Risk Capacity. What does it do? It's a weather-based insurance agency. And what these countries do is to pay insurance each year, about $3 million a year of their own resources, so that in the event they have a difficult drought situation or flood, this money will be paid out to them, which they can then use to take care of their populations instead of waiting for aid to come. The African Risk Capacity last year paid $26 million to Mauritania, Senegal, and Niger. This enabled them to take care of 1.3 million people affected by drought. They were able to restore livelihoods, buy fodder for cattle, feed children in school, and in short, keep the populations home instead of migrating out of the area. So these are the kinds of stories of an Africa ready to take responsibility for itself and to look for solutions for its own problems.
Mm-hmm.